Chapter 10 of This England by Anthony E. C. Linford. George stood under the Accenta bus shelter, waiting for the late bus home. It had been raining all day. It's dark now. The rain hasn't stopped all day. The pavement shines under the streetlights, and the call centre building behind him glows like a tired ship in the night. The reflection of its sign stretches across the wet road. Bus stop. The yellow letters shimmer in the water. George pulls his coat a little tighter. The wind finds its way down the back of his neck. He's tired. Late shifts always do this to him. The bus appears at the end of the road, headlights sliding across the wet tarmac, almost empty. It sighs to a halt beside the curb. The doors open. George climbs aboard and shows his pass. The driver glances over with a half smile. "Working late again, George?" George gives a small shrug. "Well, the overtime's there, and I'm taking it." The driver chuckles. Fair enough. George moves down the aisle, but only as far as the first seat. He sits near the front. The heater hums quietly. The bus pulls away. Outside the windows, town drifts past in blurred reflections of orange streetlights and rain. George stares ahead. He isn't really seeing the road. He's hearing a voice. Calm, measured. "Mr. Kumar." "You pulled the young boy away." George shifts in his seat. This isn't how people usually remember things. Not the way he remembers them. He'd run into Mr. Patel's shop. That much was true. He'd seen the attack. He'd seen the boy in the Union Jack T-shirt. Seen Mr. Patel shove him sideways into the crisp display. Packets flying everywhere. But that wasn't where the blood came from. George rubs his hand slowly across his jacket sleeve. He can almost see it again. The broken glass, the shouting, Mr. Kumar standing in the doorway of his own shop further down the street, his lip already split, blood running from his nose, his baby daughter crying in the pushchair where the window had shattered. George had run again. Not away, towards them. He pushed someone back, shielded the child, felt the sting of the glass against his own hands. Someone swinging at him. The confusion, the noise, and then running. Running before the police arrived. Running before anyone asked questions. Running straight past his own landlord's shop. Running into the night. George exhales slowly. Gladys had only seen the last part. Him running. Blood on his jacket. She'd assumed the worst. And he had let her. The bus rolls through another set of lights. George leans his head back on the seat. Gladys. Her voice arrives in his mind as clearly as if she was sitting beside him. "They need to stop the boats." Another echo. "They shouldn't be getting council houses before our own." George closes his eyes briefly. Up till now, he'd agreed, nodding along. grumbled the same complaints, said the same things, like so many others. The bus rattles gently over a pothole. George opens his eyes again. Outside the window, the town is thinning now. Almost home. He knows what he has to do. Tonight he will greet Gladys and tell the truth. All of it. What really happened 2 nights ago? George isn't looking forwards to that conversation. Not at all. The bus slows. He's stopped. He presses the bell. The driver glances up at him in the mirror. George gives a small nod. The doors hiss open. Cold air rushes in. George steps down onto the wet pavement. The bus pulls away behind him. Red lights disappearing into the rain. George turns towards home. Towards Gladys. Just jumping out of character for a second here. Anybody who has spoken to me about this story, at the moment, in this respect, that just includes my wife, will know the exact person I have based Gladys on. I'm really glad I had that person in mind that I can model her on without further ado the rest of this particular scene, because I'm beginning to see this work as quite scenic, almost cinematic. Gladys beats him to the top of the back fire stairs. She must have seen the security light come on in the yard. As George climbs the wet metal steps, he can already see the television flickering through the kitchen window. Blue, green, red, the colours washing the walls. He feels a small surge of excitement. Secretly, he loves it when Gladys flirts with him. By the time he reaches the landing, she's already there, waiting in the doorway. Her housecoat hangs loose at the waist. 2 glasses in her hands. Even before he reaches her, he smells it. Perfume. And the sweet, sticky scent of rum. Kraken. Always Kraken. The black bottle sits on the small kitchen table behind her. The label's tentacled sea monster curling across the glass. George glances at it, then back at Gladys. The security light catches her hair pinned up tonight, revealing a long neckline to the pale nape of her neck. She sways slightly, then thrusts one of the glasses towards him. She speaks first. "Home, Mr. Sailor, home from the sea." Her voice is theatrical, a little slurred. George laughs quietly and takes the glass. Before he can say anything, she hooks an arm through his and pulls him across the threshold. The kitchen is warm. The stove is on. Something is simmering in a pan. For a moment, George forgets the cold, the bus ride, the call from Mr. Kumar, the knot that had been tightening in his stomach all evening. Gladys presses the door shut behind him with her heel. "Thought you might be starving," she says. She leans close, lowering her voice like she's sharing a secret. "Made your favourite." "So, what happened at work, George?" He opens his mouth. She barrels straight on. "They had you back in the office, didn't they? About that bloke, and you flying your flag on your screen?" George calmly pours another drink for both of them. They clink glasses. "Here's to happy days, Glad." She knocks back hers fast, her cheeks flush. She slaps him hard across his shoulders. "You're a bloody hero, George, that's what you are." He jolts in his chair. "A hero and a patriot. I'll drink to that." She leans closer, voice rising with excitement. "You even work at standing up to 'em." She taps the table for emphasis. "Standing up for England, our language and our culture." George says nothing, waiting, watching her. Suddenly, Gladys remembers something. "Oh, and that fleece of yours, love. You know, the one with the blood on it." She grins proudly. "I soaked it overnight, got it all out." Another drink. Then she lowers her voice to a conspiratorial level. "That was their blood, wasn't it, George?" George still doesn't answer. She laughs. "I've seen a viral video going around about some Asian shopkeeper getting thumped." Her eyes sparkle. "I bet it was you, wasn't it?" She throws her arms around him in a tight, boozy hug. "You gave that rich twat what for?" George gently removes her hands. For the first time all evening, he speaks properly, quietly. Glad, she's still smiling. He meets her eyes. "That's not what happened." A pause. George takes a breath. "I ran in to help them. The Patels and another man, Mr. Kumar. The blood on my jacket." He swallows. Most of it was his. Silence. Gladys stares at him. The smile slowly fades.